Hello vinyl community, this is my video for February. Few things to run through, bit of VCLT, the meetup in Manchester about a week and a half ago now in UK, some £1 fines, and the last record fair that I went to, sold at, whatever you want to call it. We'll start with that. We'll work our way forwards from the start, yes. So, it was quite a busy record fair. Sold a few things, but I suppose you're not really interested in that. Let's see what I came up with, okay? So some of these were swaps or buying things, and all of these were from one seller, except for this, which I bought actually for £20. I've got a copy of A Heavy Metal Celebration of Pink Floyd by the Swords guitarist Kyle Shutt, 180 gram yellow vinyl, download carding included. Now, I could easily have a moan about download codes, and I may well do in another video. I got 4 or 5 different experiences with them, but this was an album from last year, so it's like a doom metal version of Dark Side of the Moon. The download works, which I'm very happy with, and so I should be because I paid for it. So if any of you know anything about this band, I don't know much about them or the guy, but I was reassured that this would be good, and it is good. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I've heard a techno version of that album. I've heard reggae version of that album, but I think that's just more my sort of thing. I mean, I'm not hugely heavy metal, but that album suits that better, I think. Right, some swaps or fines. I suppose these were sort of roughly about £3 or £5 each. I'm not sure. Don't know much about them yet. Haven't played them all. This is an album. Listen, Move and Dance for Moving Percussion and Electronic Sound Pictures, from 1966. This is another of those albums of the sort of thing that I would have had at my school when I was very young, where you had to pretend to be a tree or something. And as you can see, that is just a wonderful cover there. So I cannot see this turning up something interesting. In a similar vein, Let's Pretend, which is instrumental accompaniments arranged and conducted by Johnny Pearson. That is a name that I recognise from orchestral or sort of albums that often turn up. So I think they're like children's stories with some music. Yeah, and a nice old-fashioned cover there. Mono. I suppose I could show you. I don't always show labels, but there we go. I think I've got another. I've got another one with this green EMI label, and I think it's something to do with Radiophonic Workshop. I think, from what I remember, sort of so another of these sort of dancing in school halls. Okay, slightly different tip now. This is a Billy Paul Gatefold War of the Gods. Here he is, bit of a cool dude there. 1973, that's from. And similar to that, I think this is a compilation. I'm not entirely sure. This is Funkadelic. I know nothing by Funkadelic at all. One Nation Under a Groove, a gatefold with a cut, import cut here, I think. There we go. To Ireland next, and this appeared to be interesting. It's the Book of Invasions, a Celtic Symphony by the Horselips, from 1976 from DJM. And the last thing that I picked up from the record fair was this, and somebody else was very keen on this. I was going to swap him for Jean-Michel Jarre album that he had. He had for sale for about 40 quid, I think. Just trying to remember what it was called. It was the early 90s one when he went a bit dancey. I can't remember. So this is a Ennio Morricone soundtrack to which I know nothing about. So it's on something called General Music. Okay, so that was the record fair. Now, I hope this isn't going to be too long a video. Yes, it is. Right. Okay, still. You can always fast forward if you don't like a bit or whatever. Okay, this is right up to this afternoon when I found a couple of things and just try a few things. Not sure if I've got this. John Keating Space Experience, on Studio to Stereo. Music for Pleasure. Now, James Griffiths is going to make a video about music for pleasure, apparently. I think I could do a video of about 100 of the albums I've probably got. I know nothing by Glenn Campbell, so I'm very tenuous with my country forays. So I thought I would try this. I think it's some sort of compilation. Didn't want to buy this record at all. It's this, but I bought it, and can you see that guy there at the back? Very grey-haired old footballer there. Really looks like he should be an old hippie. But this is a Chelsea album, and this is the label, a penny farthing label. Look at that, it's a sports album with no advertising on it. I listened to this, I didn't like it. Simple as. But it's a very nice copy. Here's the original sticker, which was my local record shop actually. Still exists in another guise. But this is a very nice copy, very nice, well, not matted, but very nice cardboard sleeve. Wasn't that keen on this either. This is Isaac Hayes' Chocolate Chip on a gatefold with a bit of a corner cut off. Barry White album. All these were £1. This was interesting. Simba, O'Donnell Levy, arranged by Manny Alban. And it's on Groove Merchant label. Sort of African fused with jazz, I suppose. Yeah, that was very interesting. This went for this because of the cover. Don't know much about it really. Bit of Dylan Thomas, poetry and prose. And that's an Argo label. Oh no, it's not. Sorry, it's a made in Canada, London. Interesting. Sham 69. I saw them. Or well, they were a few of the members up the road from here actually. A few years ago. Did some pogoing about a bit with them. It's got a 12-inch with If the Kids Are United on it. This is a blue vinyl copy of Out of the Blue, which has got some few scratches on it, as has this. This is also blue vinyl of Beach Boys 20 Golden Grapes. Sorry. So, a nice copy here, nice clean copy, found with the other ones, but even so, Paul Simon Greatest Hits. I will give this a go. I don't have anything by him. I'm not so keen on Graceland, that sort of rhythm of the same sort of thing. But there you go. Very famous UK English broadcaster from, I suppose, the Second World War up until the 60s, and his son is still broadcasting. Famous interviews, TV broadcasts, etc., etc. And I think this maybe has a couple of scratches on it. Blondie, Parallel Lines. So, the record fair in Manchester that I turned up at, I found two albums. Really, it was about meeting the other guys. So there was the six of us, and we just talked, and it was great. And I hope there's another one coming up soon. Really, yeah. The only two records I found were this record I used to have. It's a consolidated album, so sort of like industrial hip hop, early 90s. I suppose a bit dated, but then on the other hand, there's a track on there about gun control crime, which seemed very well, shockingly up to date, I suppose. Not that there's an answer to it. I'm not one side or the other. Well, if I was, I don't think I would tell you anyway. But yeah, so I think this album I would have culled and got rid of, sometime in the mid-late 90s or maybe later. I can't remember. But I found a very nice copy of it for £2, so I'm very happy with that. And this, to add to my Vangelis collection, is Boborg. This I listened to. It's good, but it's a bit inaccessible in that if any of you watched the 1970s Doctor Who, this music sounds like the incidental or music at the background that is often going on when they're going from a scene to a scene. The only thing that it would be beautifully paired with would be like an album of, which I have got, Doctor Who sound effects with the doors opening and the TARDIS coming and going. But this in that respect, I really like this. It's a gatefold, and it's even got, you can see it's just got an embossed, you can't see it there, but it has actually got a Vangelis here, yeah, written on there. So I was very happy with that. So I bought two records for £2, and then I never gave up. I kept looking and trying to find out where the guys were in the pub. So there was me, James Griffiths, that's Final Professor, Steve Whitty, 6-inch pianist, Headley, I'll come to him in a sec, and Chris. So they all came, and I was the last one there. As you know, James had a very bad toothache, so the fact that he came was great. But you could see that he was just very tired, and well, I suppose in a way we talked about all sorts of stuff. Yeah, yeah. But I suppose I could say what was said in Manchester stays in Manchester. Yeah, it was just great. It was just brilliant. Yeah, it was well worth travelling all that way just to do that. I mean, the record fair was sort of irrelevant in a way to me. I really only paid to go in to see if they were in there, and then caught up with them in the pub where they were, or bar or whatever, and we drank quite a few ales, I guess you could say, and yeah, stayed for quite a number of hours and just yacked for ages. Yeah, it was really good. And on the back of that, Headley knows that I like sampling things. And yesterday I went to pick up this, which he has kindly sent to me, which is celebrating 150 years of the Jackson City and Madison County. Haven't listened to it yet, but it looks very good, Headley. I think I can do something with this. There's a couple of songs on there, but there's also president of the Farm Bureau, a mayor, talking, various other just dignitaries or individuals. Let's show the label. Oh, that was his letter just flying out. There's a label there called Spectrum, a division of Carloway Inc., Jacksonville, Tennessee. Look at that, lovely. So I think I will call that the end of this video for February. And thank you to all my subscribers, and just if you're watching, thank you. Click like, dislike, yeah, and maybe I'll do another video right after this, or maybe I won't. Keep looking. I will try and catch you in your videos. I have not seen so many videos the last 2 or 3 months. I just haven't had the time really. But I have even been commenting on the ones I've been catching up on. So you might have to go back, and John Bellamy had to go back and watch one because it was a while ago and he couldn't remember what it was about. So yeah. Anyway, I will catch you all soon. Cheers. Bye.